Hello and welcome to the Academy of Modern Martial Arts and our step-by-step Tai Chi instruction. Today we're going to be looking at movement number 6, step back and repulsing push. Not only is this the first time in the form that we're actually going to be working on stepping backward, it's also an excellent movement to highlight this idea of symmetry and balance. Step back and repulsing push happens 4 times, twice on each side of the body. We just finished the 5th movement of the form, playing the lute. In playing the lute, if you recall, our weight is back on our rear foot. That rear right foot is turned out at a 45-degree angle. The weight is back, all the way back and down. The left foot is empty, and we had just picked up the heel, and then we reset the heel down on the center line, while both hands also reside on the center line, with the left hand around nose or lip height, and the right hand right around elbow height. From here, we're going to begin the process of stepping backward. Our first look from the front, we're going to rotate the hands. We're going to let those hands fall away. And as they fall away, we rotate our torso. They float back up. And at the last moment, we really sink down into the shoulder blades and the elbows, rotating the palms at the top. As the palms have rotated up to the top, that left leg remains empty. We're going to begin the process of bringing that left foot back as we bend the right arm. So the right arm and the left knee bend at the same time, and they move toward the center of our body. They also pass beyond the center of our body at the same time, and the weight is going to shift backward into what is now the rear leg, the left leg. As the weight shifts backward, we draw that left arm back and down. Since this is the first time in the form that we step backward, let's begin by looking at that footwork. From the front, if you recall, our weight was back on that right leg and our hips are turned at a 45-degree angle. In order to focus on the footwork, we're going to forget about the hands for a moment. Recall our weight was back here on the right. The left foot, we had lifted out of the heel and we had set the heel down on the center line. We're going to make life easy by bringing our hands to our hips. And we're just going to pick up that left lead leg. We're going to bend at the knee, and we're going to place the ball of the foot behind us. We're going to twist. All the weight is still on the right. Once I make contact with that left leg, we're going to twist in our hips, setting down into that left leg. And as we twist down into the left, we come up out of the right, emptying that right foot. Once the right foot is empty, we'll be able to bend at the knee and we'll place that right foot back behind us and we'll twist in the hips, setting down into the right and emptying the left. Let's take a look sideways because that can really help illustrate our point. Once again, our weight is back on the right. Hands are on the hips to help remind us of our postural cues, remembering it's not just the orientation of our hips going from a 45 to the right and then a 45 to the left, but it's also the orientation of that pelvis. And we keep a little bit of abdominal tightness to pull up the front of that pelvis and keep our pelvis a little closer to parallel with the floor. Weight is on the right leg, knee is pointed to that direction, although it does not extend beyond our toes. We've sunk our weight down. This foot is empty. We're going to pick up that empty left leg. We're going to bend at the knee, allowing that to pass our center line. We're going to place the ball of the foot behind us. And then as our hips twist to the left, we're going to settle down onto that left leg, which is now turned at a 45. And you'll notice as we sat back on the left, again, we come out of that right leg. So now it's the empty right leg that comes up, bends at the knee. We extend the ball of the foot to the floor. And again, we turn our hips and shift our weight back into the right leg, simultaneously emptying the lead leg. That lead leg bends, comes down behind us. And again, we turn our hips, shifting back into the left, coming out of the right. And for the 4th time and final time, we bend the right, set it back behind us, twist the hips, and shift the weight down onto that right leg. Now, let's add the hand movement. So from here, again, our weight is back on the right. We had just finished playing the lute. we're going to go ahead and relax those shoulders. It's important to keep a lack of tension in our frame and just sink into that position. We're going to rotate our palms upward and use that rotation to help relax and sink your elbows down. So we're sinking into place. We're going to allow the hands to fall away and just rotate back up. At the last moment, we're going to drop our elbows, sink our shoulder blades, and rotate the palms back up toward the sky. From here, we're going to bend at the right elbow at the same time that we bend at the left knee. So you'll note the hand and the foot come toward the center line of the body at the same time, and then they're going to end up passing through or past the center of our body together. And then as that weight shifts toward that back leg, that weight shift is going to be what pulls the long left arm out. And they drop away and rotate back up to the top. Left hand now bends at the elbow as the right leg bends. Meet at the center line, pass through the center line. They make contact. Now the weight shift begins and the pull and the twist of that long right arm passes through, up, rotate, bend, set, shift the body weight. And we have step back and repulsing push, or reverse reeling arms. After the fourth one, the arms are going to circle around into holding the ball. The weight is on the rear, and we would step into our next movement, which is grass sparrow's tail. Taking a quick look at the movement from the front, we'll move toward the camera. We'll sink down into place. We've played the lute. We're going to relax, step back, push through. And you'll notice from here the rotation of the body continues from one side to the other, and I've run out of room and I'm about to run into the wall. There just isn't enough room here to perform 4 of them. Because of the limited space, we'll look at it from the front, but we'll just do 1 on each side. Again, we've finished playing the lute. The heel of the hands and the heel of the foot have rested at the same time. They've come to a rest. We relax, drop the elbows, the shoulders, rotate the palms up, let them fall away, sinking just infinitesimally further into that right leg, ensuring that the left is empty. The right arm and left knee bend together, meet at the center, pass through the center, and the weight shift pulls that long left arm out. And from here, we can really see the rotation in the body and how the rotation never stops. It goes as far as it can and then back to the center. Once more from the side, having just completed playing the lute, we're going to relax the arm, sink into place. Our gaze stays in the center as we rotate and twist through the body, stepping back and through, and back and through, following the active hand until the 4th step back and repulsing push. It's going to lead us into playing the sparrow's tail. Like the other movements within the 24 movement form, we have a stationary exercise that we can use to focus on the rotational capacity of our torso, as well as the arm movements for our repulsing push or our reverse reeling arms. Again, these stationary exercises allow us to really focus on those postural cues. We're settled into our feet, our knees are nice and soft. Not only are the knees soft and bent forward, but again, they're activated and move slightly outward. We pull up the front of that pelvis, we lift up out of that sternum, we sink down in those shoulders, we raise out of the crown of the head. So with all of our postural cues in place, let's focus first on the relative position of the arms. The arms are going to be somewhat out in front of you. They're not actually going to be behind you. They appear as if they go behind you because of the turning of the torso. But when we turn the torso and bring those arms up, the truth of the matter is those arms are still in front of you. If we look sideways, those arms remain in front of my body. So for this exercise, let's just go ahead and relax those hands, rotate the palms up, As we rotate the palms up, it's the back of the hand that's going to send itself to the floor, and it's going to sink to the floor as we turn to the right, and we're going to allow the wrists to come up. And at the tail end of that rise, we're going to focus on dropping the elbows and the shoulders and letting those palms rotate upward. From here, we're going to bend at the right elbow, bringing those fingers facing forward. And once that has occurred, we then twist the torso. We begin this process of twisting back, leaving the left arm long, pushing through and rotating. Once we have pulled the long arm toward our center and we are right underneath our belly button, we're going to allow that long arm to drop through the rest of the way and rotate back up. And the push on the lead hand rotates to the top at the same time. Now we bend at the left elbow, fingers are pointed forward. We begin the process of turning our torso and drawing the long right arm out and rotating the palms up, bending at the elbow, twisting and pulling the long arm out, rotating, and going into our stationary exercise for reverse reeling arms or step back and repulsing push. Like all of the other stationary exercises, you can continue to repeat that exercise until you gain additional fluidity and you feel like you're able to coordinate the twisting and the pulling. Remember, the arms aren't, in Tai Chi, nothing is really working independently, everything is working interdependently. So it's not as if we pull the lead hand back as if that's coming from our own elbow, but that lead arm is out and it remains in that nice gentle position. And by sinking in the shoulder and by bringing the hip back, it is the sinking of our body weight that twists the torso, and then it's the twisting of the torso that pulls that arm long. And once that tension is off of there, we allow that arm to drop free and rotate up. Similarly, the right arm is not pushing out or reaching out away from the body. The right arm is really fixed in front of us, and as we end up twisting and turning, that's what pushes that right arm out and through. Same thing here, rear hand, come through, push, pull. And we end up coordinating both sides of the body, knowing that the pull on one side is fueled by the push on the other side is fueled by the pull, and it's all actually driven by the rotation of the torso and the sinking of the weight into the movement. The martial application of step back and repulsing push is really quite fun, and it's startling in its efficacy because of that weight shift and the coordination of the weight shift with the pull. It generates an amount of force that one simply cannot get from pulling their arm toward their body. Thank you for joining us today. We've got a rainstorm going on outside. We hope that you not only found something valuable in your time with us today, but that you enjoyed your time with us as well. Until next time, enjoy yourself, and we look forward to seeing you again.